Brandon Aiyuk is posting on social media. Doesn't seem like he's at the facility. Maybe he is. OTAs are tomorrow. He wasn't here last week. He's rehabbing, and he had things he wanted to say, Jose. So he posted a picture of T.O. doing sit-ups in his driveway, which is cryptic. To me, I interpret that as him sort of indicating that he's not at OTAs, because I think that was sort of when T.O. was holding out. And then there was one more on his story on Instagram. He wrote, "Y'all crybaby ass divas be killing the vibes on IG. Shaking my head. It gotta be an age limit on hating. If you 30 years old or older, just post yo kids and STFU." That's good advice for really anyone. What do you think about Ayuk's latest statements?
Well, I'm copying you if you haven't noticed with the mic. I feel like I'm Bruce Buffer right now. Well, first of all, I'm 30 years old. I do not have kids, so where do I fit in that? Like, am I allowed? Like, what are the rules? I have questions about this. I just turned 30 3 months ago, less than 3 months ago. I have no kids, thank God. Hopefully never. What am I supposed to do with that? And second, this guy wants to. Let's do it chronologically. The Terrell Owens, right? He did that during OTAs, and this feels like, where is this coming from? Like, no one's talked about him. It feels like ever since the season ended, ever since his injury, actually, he's been relatively quiet, which is perfect. Like, cool. Like, people were poo-pooing you during the season because you had like some drops and it didn't seem like you were making as much of an impact to, like, you know, the casual fan or whatnot. But it's like, ever since that injury, he's been quiet. So it's like, all right, cool. Put your head down. And not even during all the stuff where like the 49ers were dragging his name through Adam Schefter and all these other reporters about like, oh, they didn't like the contract. Or even Kawakami wrote literally saying like, oh, they hated that contract. They hated that. They hated the Bosa one, like all that stuff. So it feels like it's like unprompted. Like, where's this coming from? Like, why is he posting that? Like, is he, like you said, is he insinuating like, oh, I'm not there? Like, well, yeah, I hope you're not there. Like, you're recovering from your knee. Like, what are you supposed to do on the practice field? Not me, I guess, be with your teammates, but number one, protect yourself. Number two, like the little last part, that's when it starts to get annoying about how if you're 30 years old, he's trying to gatekeep like, hey, just if you're being a hater, then STFU. It's like, well, newsflash, brother, you set this up. You made yourself out to be this social media drama queen. Like, you did that the moment like you started like holding out with the 49ers like 9 months ago. You are this guy now. So now every post you make, everyone's like, here goes this cat again. It's like the boy who cried wolf, except you're the boy who goes on social media like acting like a teenager, which is pretty much what he is at this point with the way he's antics. Like, he talks about like 30 years old, don't say anything. Like, how about after 18, you don't post anything cryptic? Because that's the last time I started seeing like all those like prevalent things when I was that age. Like, there's a bunch of high schoolers posting all this unnecessary stuff. It's just whatever it can mean. It just feels like where's all this coming from? Where's this coming from?
Well, I think that's the question, and I think we can I think there are clues. He was pretty upset after the Super Bowl, and I think with Aiyuk, like, he seems like he cares about money a lot. He likes cars, but I don't think his gripe was just about money. He got the money, and I think people are like, well, what's the issue, man? Like, why are you still upset? But I think there's still something like personal, maybe that's the wrong word. There's got to be a disconnect between him and Kyle, or him and the organization. They even sort of talked about it, like the negotiation didn't go well, and it seems like maybe he took things personally, and maybe still, even though he got his contract, maybe he doesn't want to be on this team. Again, I don't know if he's here. And when you start posting pictures of T.O. holding out, like, I remember that. I lived through that. T.O. would force his way off teams. He didn't want to be on them anymore. And I'd hate to think that Brandon Aiyuk is becoming T.O. Although I did say, though, when he used to be Brandon Aiyuk, and now he's B.A. So I don't know. Ever since that contract negotiation, he's been B.A., and I don't like B.A. as much. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code COHN, COHN, and download the app now.
Oh, yeah. He just set himself up for that, especially like when he gets to the moment where it's like, hey, Brandon, all right, cool. You want to get paid all this money? We got you. New England's got that money for you. Nah. All right, Cleveland? Nah. Pittsburgh? I'm good. What do you want? What is it? Like, that was the moment I turned on him a little bit, or I started being like a little like heavily critical. Because look, in the first place, even as going back as far when he's posting like little like 30-second videos of Jaden Daniels and like he's like laughing, he's like, hey, they don't want me no more. Like, I didn't really care because that was that feels like almost like the standard for these contract negotiations, especially for wide receivers, right? Like it's always like it's the most diva dramatic position. So it kind of comes with the territory. I didn't mind that too much. I always blame the 49ers. You guys had a chance to extend this guy before before you had to pay more, before all this. Like I'm always looking at who's the person who tipped over the first domino. That was the 49ers. Like this wasn't like surprise to you guys. You knew there was going to be like 17 other wide receivers who were due for extensions. And sure enough, when Devontae Smith and others first got extended, that's when he was like, hold on, let's get back to the table. And the Niners like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. But yeah, now all of a sudden he's really like, it's really snowballed into like, okay, this is Brandon Aiyuk. And that's what goes to your reference of, okay, now you're BA, TOBA. You got the abbreviations now. You got your initials only, because now it's just like, this is what he's known as now. This guy cannot post ever again without people being like, what's he going at again? And maybe it means nothing, but look, my man, you set yourself up for this in the first place. Like no one can take you seriously anymore. Now it feels like there's some underlying issue.
And it almost feels like, dude, if he wants out, you got to let him go. Cause I mean, you're trying to create a new culture and show all these rookies and second year players what it takes to win. And I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey practicing. You got all these vets here taking it seriously. And you got one guy like not only kind of like thumbing his nose at the whole process, but doing it publicly and being a distraction, kind of like last year. I mean, we were going to come on here and talk about what the position coaches said today, but like anytime Brandon Aiyuk posts weird stuff on social media, that trumps whatever Chris Kasarick said about Michael Williams that day. So congratulations, Brandon. It's about you again. And to me, like the Niners had these misgivings about him. They were not all in about extending Brandon Aiyuk. And I think the misgivings were, he's a little immature. Is he a team guy or is he out for himself? And I think those questions even got louder after he got paid. I mean, I don't know what to do. I feel like they would have traded him if they could have.
I think that's also a common wide receiver thing because look, AJ Brown be crying about his targets too all the time, and it wasn't like,
true.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Look, I don't care if he's a Super Bowl champion. He's still, and he says like, "Oh, I don't care about it." Like, bro, we see you like pouting on the sideline after the first quarter. It's like, dude, the game's not even over yet. It's not even halfway done.
Reading that book on the sideline to stay motivated.
Fake
you know what I mean?
Whatever, like just like I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so I think honestly, that's again, it goes back to the social media thing. That's not a specific Brandon Aiyuk thing. I don't think. I just feel like it's always a comment, like it's always like a solid portion of wide receivers. And we've seen that. Again, look, why is he quoting T.O.? Because T.O.'s maybe the first guy who started a little bit of those dramatic antics that are just like, what's this guy doing? Like, those, like what's going on here? But I think another aspect that you didn't mention about why the 49ers had misgivings about giving them that contract is, look, like, immature, right? Okay, cool. Like maybe all this other stuff, is he team first? And then it's also like, we're not really a passing offense like that in the first place. That's why, like, honestly, like, I advocated for the 49ers to extend him to pair with Brock Purdy. But on the other hand, I said, I don't see the 49ers doing that because I think they could see like, we're not really a team that's like that. And the year that Brandon Aiyuk had, it's never going to get better than that because he's never going to get like an increased uptick in volume. Like it's not going to change. Like this is who you are. I mean, this is who you are in that capacity. You're capped. Like that's it. So I was still surprised that they did that. I liked it. But now it's like, okay, maybe I'm kind of an idiot. Maybe I should have like thought more of 49ers aspects because now it's just like where are we going from here now? You're in the worst case scenario where you shelled out all this money to this guy. He's coming back from a significant knee injury. It's not just like an ACL, like it's MCL too, and maybe something else that we just don't know about. But I just think like now, like I thought Brandon Aiyuk was doing this perfectly ever since he blew out his knee. It was just like quiet, not much from him. Like no one knows where he's at with his injury. I mean, we just get like, you know, the little fluff that Kyle and John talk about, like, oh, he's doing well. Like, okay, yeah, that doesn't mean crap to us. But like it felt great. Like even though like the Niners put him under the bus, like through, you know, Adam Schefter and such, like that's my take is they were trying to like put out there like, hey, we hated this contract. We didn't like Brandon Aiyuk's contract from February, March, and even April, and we didn't hear a peep from him. And I was like, damn, he's handling it as well. Like he's just putting his head down low. Like this guy's gonna come out and he's gonna like he's gonna look sweet, even though like the odds are kind of against him. But now it's just like you put this back and now you're putting the bad taste. It's not even just like us. Like I think we're kind of just like, what's going on? And I just know like a majority of fans, at least like the fans I know, like family and friends, like I already know they're seeing that and they're just like, what's this guy talking about now? Like he's pissing us off. Like that's the temperature I feel like.
And like what I don't think he quite understands is like, so he says he's like taking a shot at the haters. I don't know, maybe he's talking about you or me. But when the fans watch that, I don't think they look at it like, yes, screw Grant Cohn. I think they're thinking like, dude, why are you upset with us? And I think with Ayuk's like what he doesn't understand is like, and I think Kittle gets it. Kittle is beloved by 49er fans. if he were to leave the Niners, he'd just be some mercenary in the NFL that no team, that no fan base really loves. I mean,
Yeah.
you appreciate having a good player, but like Niner fans don't love Trent Williams. I mean, he could be on another team next year, or who he, maybe that's a bad example, but like, you know what I'm talking about? A player who jumps around. He seems like he's verging on that. And he seems like he's alienated his own fan base. He's on the verge of alienating his own team. And dude, he's 1 year away from like wasting away in Tennessee or Jacksonville. Get started at factormeals.com/cone50off and use code cone50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, again, like, it's not like I know all what the 49er fans are temperature feeling, but it just seems through like Twitter and interactions. And again, like all my friends and family are diehard Niner fans. That's like in the hundreds. It seems consensus that they're tired of his shtick. And I already saw one of my close cousins said like, just like, oh, here we go with this again. Like, just like, what are you doing, bro? Just like, it's just because when you go to that social media posting route, like whatever it can mean, whether maybe he was trying to do a good thing for himself. Maybe that's his way of just like, he was trying to tell people like, hey, I'm working, like it's all good. But again, the moment you went through, everyone's going to attach that and associate that crypto post to like, oh my God, now you took us back to you holding out and that's pissing us off again. It's opening up the old wounds, you know, that old like, oh wait, it's taking us back. Like, oh, I remember this again. Like, here we freaking go. And it's all because he opened that up. If he had limited maybe half that or just didn't do it, he's doing all this. People were just be like, oh, what could this mean? Because look, players do all that all the time. I mean, didn't Deommodore Lenoir does it, but because it wasn't during a contract extension with bad feelings, no one cares. They just perceive that as positive. But he's attached himself to this negative light that now it's like.
But the difference between Lenoir and Aiyuk is it seems like Lenoir is a very mature 25-year-old young man.
And he's straight up, right? He says it like,
yeah,
forward, like I'm clamping this guy up. Like,
Lenoir's a grown up. I mean, he's young and he's got a lot of like young energy, but like at the same time, you could trust him. You could rely on. He's a team guy. And with Aiyuk, it's like, you still kind of post things almost like his energy very much is teenager. And I don't mean that in like in a hatery way. I'm just saying like these posts today, like that's what a 17-year-old does when they're upset with their parents and they don't want to talk to them directly. It's like, you're 26 now, man. I mean, you got paid. And I think this is a lesson for all teams and sports franchises. Like if you have a question about a player's maturity before you pay him, I mean, just giving them the money isn't going to make that issue go away. It's just going to make it's going to exacerbate the issue. Sorry.
I think it feels like now, well, tying back into Lenoir versus Aiyuk is, I think that also we can widen the scope and say cornerback versus wide receiver. And it's always been my thing, even like, look, it's not like I ever played in the pros, but like my thing, like growing up playing ball is like corners, cocky, shit talkers, all that stuff. Wide receivers too, but a little more DV. Where corners, we're gonna say it straight to your face, like, hey, like you're getting clamped up. Like Richard Sherman, all these guys, like all like they'll say it with their chest and they don't care. Like there's no beating around the bush. Where like you get wide receivers, just like it's like glitz and glamour, a little like oh yeah, like kind of show me, like flaunting a little bit, and that's where you get that little social media posting. It seems, but yeah, I think if you're looking at it from a 49ers aspect, is like, could it be directed towards them? Could it be because you guys hung them to dry for like 2 to 3 months? That was a little crazy. They didn't directly do it, and it wasn't like that oblivious. But to me, it's like, damn, it felt like every other week it was like, yeah, they hate that contract. Like, holy crap, we get it. You hate the contract. Why are you emphasizing it so much? Like, do you hate this guy? And maybe it's circling back into these underlying things with the post. It's like, and how you alluded to is, dude, are these guys like in an irreparable state like right now?